Hello and welcome to the channel Ginger Ninja's Movie Reviews. I am the Ginger Ninja and these are my movie reviews. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. If you're wondering what we're doing here, it's September, but I'm changing it to SAWtember. That's right, all through September I am looking at the Saw films, up to and possibly including Spiral. I haven't decided yet. We'll see how we go. But we're going to be looking at least the first 8 films, all the way up to Jigsaw, definitely. Anyway, let's get into this one. So, we are looking at Saw 2 from 2005. Now, this film did take a little bit of a turn compared to the first film. We will be touching on some of those differences in this. But before we get into it, let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. So, directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, Saw 2 came out a year after Saw, so it came out in 2005. It stars donniewahlberg, Eric Knudsen, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, Beverly Mitchell, Frankie G, Emmanuel Vasia, Dinameyer, Shawneesmith, and of course, Tobinbell. Now, I will be discussing plot specifics and there will be spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen this film, you've been warned. But before I get into that, I do want to give a big shout out to Carrie Craves Cinema. Carrie is also doing SAWtember, so make sure you check out her channel. I'll pop the link down below. Subscribe to her, well worth your time. Anyway, let's get into this one. So, a detective and his team must rescue 8 people trapped in a factory by the twisted serial killer known as Jigsaw. Now that's from IMDb. I don't know where they get their information. They're not trapped in a factory. They're trapped in it's a rather large house, like a really big house from looks of things. Or is it a factory that's designed like a house? Maybe it is, I don't know. But let's get into this. So, look, Saw 2 is obviously the sequel to the Jameswan and Lee Winnell classic from 2004. Now this is my DVD copy here, as you can see, nice white cover, but reversible. So yeah, also comes with this booklet, but yeah, we're not here to look at that. Let's put that back. There are some special features on this. Now I've had it for quite some time. I can't remember what the special features are. I'm not going to get into it, but look, this film takes the twisted games of Jigsaw to a whole new level. Darren Lynn Bousman really delves deeper into the mind of Jigsaw in this one, and introduces new characters and an intricate plot that keeps the viewers on edge. Look, in this review, we'll be looking at we'll be dissecting the various elements that make Saw 2 a gruesome yet engrossing experience, which is really strange for me to say. And the reason for that is, when I first saw this film, I was not a huge fan of it. Why, might you ask? Well, the original was so unique in its twist, in the way it came across, like the killer, the plot, everything behind it was just unique. It was a very much, it stayed in the one location primarily. Obviously it didn't, but primarily it was set in that one location with 2 actors. It was something I'd seen before, but not to that extent. And I wasn't really sure how they could pull off a sequel. And that is one of the problems with sequels, is they never really reach the heights of the original. You do get the occasional one that does surpass it, like Terminator 2, Aliens. But for me, watching this, I was comparing it to something that I really enjoyed, being Saw. However, upon repeat viewing, this movie does serve a good purpose. And I'll get into that in a moment. So, the cast. Now, Saw 2 introduces a diverse cast of characters, each with their own dark secrets and flaws. Donniewahlberg's portrayal of Detective Eric Matthews is gripping, and his desperation and inner turmoil drive the film forward. And he does become a sticking point in this movie and future movies, which is one of the things that upon repeat viewing draws you back in. This intricate weaving of the story, the narrative, how it's, when you first watch it, and this drives you to go back and rewatch them because they leave little things here and there, and little Easter eggs, I guess you'd call them, that hatch later on down the track in future movies. Yeah, moving forward with that, Tobinbell, you know, what can you say? Reprising his role as Jigsaw, as Johnkramer, his calm yet menacing demeanour, it adds a layer of complexity to his character, more so than in the first film, because you really didn't see a lot of him in the first film. You saw a lot of him, but not a whole lot of interaction with his character. In this, he really gets to shine. And it makes him one of the most memorable human movie villains of horror cinema, yeah. I could say that. I'm quite happy to say Jigsaw, up there with Freddy, with Jason, with, you know, even I would put him on the level of maybe Hannibal Lecter as a human killer. Hey, tell me I'm wrong. Whatever. The supporting cast, including Amanda, shawneesmith, fantastic as always. Xavier, played by Frankie G. He's a hardened criminal, and he is the main antagonist in the setting of the house. Is it antagonist? Yeah, antagonist. Yeah. Daniel. He's Eric's son. He is the reason why Detective Eric Matthews is going so hard at Jigsaw, trying to find his son. And that is a really interesting twist. The wordplay is just spot on in this one. Now, the good thing about this, they all give really strong performances, and the characters are not just cannon fodder. Some, yes. Obi is probably, or Obi, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but he's more cannon fodder than some of the others. But it's still a good performance, don't get me wrong. They're all somewhat fully developed, and they're flawed individuals, and their stories do interact on some unexpected ways, which all link back to the detective. And like I said, this will come back in future movies, and that's one thing you don't understand on your first watch of this film. They are laying the groundwork for a whole host of future films. Yeah, and that comes down to the directing and writing. Now, I did mention that the film's direction takes a different turn. It expands on elements that were laid down in the first film, kind of goes along the sequel rules from Scream 2. The body count is always higher. Death scenes are always much more elaborate and with more blood and carnage. Never, ever, under any circumstances, assume the killer is dead or who you think it is. And that is one of the twists in this film, and that is what I really did enjoy about it. The effects. Now, the Saw franchise is notorious for its gruesome and elaborate traps, and this one does not disappoint. It does have some very elaborate traps. Some of the characters that get into those traps are, why would you stick your hand in there and then I can't get out, I'm going to stick my hand in the other one? I'm sure people have noted how dumb that is. Like, that's just dumb. But, hey, whatever. Look, I gotta say that the film's production team must have had a field day designing all these traps. Like, it's just a macabre. Yeah, would have been a blast. Look, each one is uniquely horrifying and makes you squirm in your seat. The tension is there. The gore is not too bad. Like, in all honesty, this and the first one, it does have some blood, some gore, yes. The burning scene with Obi is probably one of the bigger ones. Guy getting shot in the eye. But it's not as full on as it gets later on in the series. To me, this is the one where the effects are subtle and well done. not excessive and extreme like in future films, really. The traps serve a dual purpose beyond just shock value. You know, they are integral to the film's themes of morality and the consequences of one's actions. The games themselves, if you do what you are told, what is written, or what you listen to on the tapes, you are going to survive for the most part. Later on down the track, those rules change, but whatever. Cross that bridge in 3, 4, and 5, I think. Maybe even 6, I'm not sure. But Jigsaw's sense of twisted justice forces the characters to confront their darkest secrets and really make some gut-wrenching decisions. To me, the worst trap in this one was the needle pit. Like, oh, that. I still, like, my toes curl thinking of it when Amanda, Shawneesmith, is thrown in there and landing, the look on her face, the needles piercing her skin, when she starts searching through the broken shards of the needles and the glass, and oh, wow. Yeah, that's a full-on trap. But again, it's not a gruesome trap. Like, there's not a lot of blood and guts in that one. So, you know, it's tough to watch, but it's well done. Rewatchability is another part of what I like to consider a good film. Now, like I said, when I first watched this, I compared it to the original, and that for me was a mistake, because this film stands on its own. It's a really good sequel. Yes, it doesn't hit the heights of Saw, but it's got all the elements there, and it does do its own thing. But further to that, it actually moves it forward, and it actually propels the movie into the next evolution of its series. So yeah, it definitely does have that rewatchability factor, especially when you're going through all these movies. You do pick up things. You go, oh, okay, I know where that's going. You know, when you first watch it, you don't see that, but after you've seen the rest of them, you do. Anyway, so look, overall, Saw 2 is a brutal, unapologetic descent into the darkest recesses of human nature. It's not for the faint of heart. But for fans of horror and psychological thrillers, it is a must-see. It has compelling characters, it has intricate traps and thought-provoking themes, and it does stand out as a great way to expand the Saw universe. And like I said, it propels it forward. For me, this is a solid entry into the franchise. Just be prepared to squirm through that pit scene. Like, that needle pit scene still gets me, like I can still feel it. But anyway, cringe your way through its relentless and gruesome puzzles. Overall, I would give Saw 2 a 7 out of 10. So there you have it. That is my review of Saw 2. Have you guys seen the movie? What do you think of it? Do you think the same as me? Are you going to go check it out if you haven't seen it? Let me know down in the comments below. And before you go, please do give this video a thumbs up, be much appreciated. And of course, subscribing to my channel, as well as Carrie's. I'll pop her link down below. Make sure you check out her channel, and more importantly, have a great day. Bye.